can barely see me. It's whatever. What's up, future self or whomever? Ooh, just hit a car. Alright, so what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about how people speak to children or speak to people in general, because I've noticed that, especially, children, mostly you see this, but people, especially women, love to baby talk. Women and older men, they love to baby talk children, and in some way I see that as like a form of disrespect, because they're you, but just smaller. And me personally, I would get, for some reason, I would always get a little annoyed whenever a guy older than me, bigger than me, like an adult, would call me buddy. Like when I was little, like child. I don't know why. I think it's in some way I guess it's a dominance thing. So, you want to be treated as an equal, you want to be treated like everybody else. And that's not always the case, A lot of the times, doing something like baby talking children, maybe after a certain point, after where it's too much, it could be not in their best interest. Especially if it's prolonged and throughout, even like puberty, adolescence, all that stuff. Because if you speak to them like a kid, they're gonna feel and act like a kid in some sense. Subconsciously, whatever, or consciously. So the point being is that the way you speak to people affects their growth in some regard. Little story. One of the first times I spoke to one of my best friend's daughter, it was over the phone, and obviously I'd seen her and I'd spoken to her, and him and his fiance weren't thrilled, I guess, by the way I would speak to her, because I do a little baby talk, but I wasn't doing the whole charade, I try to keep it straight, keep it 100. But anyway, one of the first times I spoke to her, the first thing I said to her was, "Hi Tatum, blah blah blah. You should thank your parents for having you when they were young, so you can grow up and be beautiful, right?" She's obviously a very, very cute baby and whatnot, but it was mostly talking about how, the older you get, especially couples, the harder it is to, have a healthy child. Basically the point. So I said that to her, just saying, thank your parents for having you young, because you're not going to be ugly, basically. And she just burst out laughing. And because I didn't know what she was gonna, I didn't know what to say to her, because I didn't know she could speak yet. So I just said the first thing that came to my mind, and that was that. And she just started giggling and laughing, and I don't know, maybe that was just her being a baby or whatever. Because she's not a baby, but she can speak a little bit, so she can understand a little bit. So it goes in the idea that you remember on some level, consciously, subconsciously, unconsciously, whatever you want to say, pretty much everything from the womb till death. Your brain tracks it. Everything. That doesn't mean you remember it all, of course, but your brain is gonna, in some way, remember it. So that means the child, the whomever, the adult, there's going to be effects of how the way you speak and act towards children, even if you think that they don't understand or they're not going to remember or whatever. And this is when psychologists dive into it and diagnose people, and they try to like kind of go into your childhood and see what kind of shit you remember, and because that's kind of where the trauma lies. Because unlike when you get older and remember it and can process it and release it in a healthy way, it is very difficult to release that trauma from, you know, childhood. So that kind of goes in the idea that all of our main issues stem from childhood in some regard. So that's why I believe in speaking to everybody, you know, no matter not everybody the same, but no matter gender, race, sex, whatever, age. Yes, you have to tailor your speech to kind of fit each individual person you're speaking to. But overall, you shouldn't be a completely different person depending who you are talking to. Overall, yes, there's going to be tweaks in how you act and all the minor stuff. However, there should be a baseline that you follow. So yeah, I'm not going to leave it at that. I guess I'll keep talking a little bit more. Psychedelics really taught me that about speech, that every thought, every word, every action, you know, there's an effect to that, and it affects you 100%. Everything you think, everything you say. That's why it's important to control your thoughts and words and actions. I mean, it's the whole quote: your thoughts turn into your words turn your act, or whatever it is. I mean, look it up if you really care. So you should be careful how you speak. I don't think it should be paralyzing, because even now I'm not really being conscious of my words actively right now. But that doesn't mean I haven't thought about it and kind of thought about how do I want to speak to people, and, you know, done all that work on how I want to reveal myself to the world. So yeah, kind of covered a few broad topics. It's gonna be a short video, shortest yet. But yeah, end of the day, a little tired, just getting home now. So yeah, watch what you say to children, because they will remember and they will act differently towards you if they perceive you as speaking down to them. And then you won't have the type of relationship you wish you could have or you desire or whatever with the people in your life. Simply put, try to treat everybody as equals. No matter the race, gender, age, we're all human beings, allegedly. Full moon tonight. Beautiful night, beautiful day. Enjoy it.